Welcome back to the Airman Hair Show. Y'all, like it's about to rain today. I was finna go run the kids to death at the track again. They liked it last time. They starting to like working out. They starting to like the track, so I'm enjoying that. We definitely gonna get a workout in today. We might go to the park, like I said, if it don't rain, but we'll see. I know all y'all done seen the Michael Jackson movie. I just went, me and India went and saw it. What was that, last night, yesterday? It was okay. Although I think it should have been longer. Like the Irishman or something. Like, you know how those movies are like 3 hours long. I feel like it should have been longer. It was like they was just skipping past so far because like it was towards the end of the movie when they said 1988. I'm like, okay, I was one. Like all before that, like we don't know about Michael Jackson. Like today, like the movie's coming so late. A lot of people today, we don't know much about Michael Jackson. Yeah, we know the songs. Yeah, he got timeless music, of course. He made great songs, whatever. But we don't know much about, we hear about Joe Jackson. We hear about Janet Jackson. We hear about these things who wasn't even in the movie. Well, we hear about these things and, we'd want to see, how the moonwalk started, why he wearing the glove, what made him, well, I guess she changed his nose because Joe, kept calling him Big Nose, which do your nose bigger than everybody in the movie. They got your nose. So I guess everybody, I'm assuming that's why he called him Big Nose. It's why he, changed his nose. But I don't know. I just wanted to see more of his youth and this and that, But although it was a great movie, what I do like about Michael Jackson, even though, the eyeliner, the arch eyebrows. He had edges before these little kids wearing edges. That's a conversation for another time. That's a little too far for me. But his perfectionism, y'all know I'm a perfectionist, and he seemed like he was a perfectionist, and I enjoyed that about people. People that like to perfect their craft. They want to make sure it's right, and that's what it seemed like the type of person that he was. It's funny though. Fame always called me Joe Jackson, and I was watching the movie at first, and I'm like, "What's wrong with Joe?" Granted, I'm sure they depicted him as way better than he was, but I'm like, "What's wrong with Joe? He want the best for his kids." However, I don't think you should beat your kids to death if that's what he did. I don't know because they didn't show it like that. All in the interviews, want to be in the spotlight. Nah, I'd rather sit in the back. But to want the best for your kids, but to push your kids to make them be the best they could be. Granted, you shouldn't be missing school, but school ain't. I hope there ain't no kids watching this, but it probably is. But school ain't really teaching us much. To be honest with y'all, school is culturally biased. It's like it is what it is, but I appreciate the fact that he pushed them to be what they could be. Granted, he went way too far, and the fact that they all call him Joseph. That's what. I'm like, why do y'all keep calling him Joseph? For me, it's like you want to just be their manager. Like you don't want that emotional attachment. And for them to be calling you Joseph, all your kids calling you Joseph is like I think boys from men, well, boys, I take that back. Boys from their fathers or uncles or father figures, grandfathers, whoever it may be. I think you should you want that emotional attachment. Like, granted, we don't want to baby them. The mom's gonna coddle them and nurture them, let them do that part. But you want that emotional attachment, and I think that's a lot that played into the mental with the Jacksons. Because of their dad, but the hard work, don't get me wrong, you want to push your kid, you don't want to force them, whatever, but sometimes you have to. But the whole, he just didn't really show him a lot of like love. You showed the love like as far as like helping them and the music wise, but outside of that, boys need that love. But anyways, I guess I ain't Joe Jackson famo because, and also I will say, I just realized, or I just looked it up. That was what India say? That was Jermaine's son who played the lead role, which he did a phenomenal job. I didn't see Michael Jackson obviously when he was that young, but from the pictures and stuff that I see, from all the old clips I see, he looked just like him. He doing the part. But then I thought about him, like, I guess I could play my uncle, in a role, when he was a lot younger, I could play that role, but. Back on the basketball, y'all know how we do. Orlando beat the Pistons, low scoring game as the Pistons always have. Banchero and that coach, they dragging it out until somebody gonna have to go. So they making this season last as long as they can. Although I think they're about to get the Pistons next game because the Pistons just don't have enough. Unless Cade go for 45, 40 some points, I don't see the Pistons winning. They rely on Cade so much. When he struggles, it's nothing. Dern is still, coming along. Tobias Harris had an okay game, who I'm not a big, fan of. He's not a number 2 option, which you have to be on this team. The Thompson twin was subpar. Duncan Robinson started subpar. So I think it might be a wrap for Detroit, sadly. They was a 1 seed. Cade carried them as long as he could carry them. But I don't know. I think the buck stops here, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Because I think Banchero is just too much for him. Bain had a good game. Wagner had a good game. What's the big guy, Carter? Carter Jr., he had a decent game as well. So I just feel like they got too many pieces for Detroit, and they only got one guy in Cade Cunningham. The Nuggets beat the Wolves. That series is 3-2. Sadly, I think the Nuggets going to win 2 in a row and win that series. With no Ant-Man, with no DiVincenzo, I just don't see Bones and, who was it? Bones and the other guy, they just scores. They can't guard. They can't do nothing else. They just score the ball. Randall had a decent game, but every time we know Randall from the past, it's like, even when he was in New York, it's like a lot of like empty points. It's like Trae Young points. It's like you scored 30 and it's like, man, he had 30 and it don't affect the game at all. AO only could do so much. He's, once they key in on him, realize, okay, he could score. Unless he go for 43 again, whatever he had the other night, they're in trouble. Well, no DiVincenzo, no Ant-Man, and Gobert scoring 3 points, y'all defensive player. 3 points and 7 rebounds. Like, they might as well cancel Christmas. Moving on to the Thunder. They swept the Suns, which we thought. Granted, I don't think the Warriors would have got swept, but whatever. We'd have won at least one game. We're not getting swept. But I knew they would get swept. Suns beat us, so I can't really talk about the Suns. But who I can talk about, let's bring Devin Booker to the stand, please. Devin Booker is making, what he signed, a 2-year, $45 million extension. That's $72.5 million for a season. I don't know who's getting paid the highest, but that is a lot of money. And he hasn't been showing up. And people don't say much about it. Granted, I know they're a small market team, but he's getting paid a lot of money. He's like 28, 29, 30. He's under 30. He's in the prime of his career. I feel like he got to do more. Nobody don't talk about Devin Booker. Nobody don't say much about Devin Booker. We need to call him to the stand and put him up there, and like y'all do LeBron, like y'all do KD, like we did Kobe. Like, we need to put him up there and, call him out. Because he ain't doing nothing to be getting paid that much money. Last game, he scored 23, 22, 16, and 24 points and 0 rebounds last game. Like, that's not enough for a guy that's scoring. That's a scorer, for one, and getting $72.5 million. You need to score 30-something, 40, 50, like that 2022 season, where I think Chris Paul might have been on that team, if I'm not mistaken. He got 5 All-Stars, which is okay. He was a 13th pick in the draft. He only made first team one time, which was in 22. Like I said, he made third team one time, which was in 24. To me, that's not enough. Like, I know y'all can say, oh, he got Shea in the count. He got Steph. He got all these great point guards and all these great shooting guards. You're getting paid $72.5 million. And nobody holds Devin Booker accountable like we hold Kevin Durant and LeBron and those guys. Even though we still, hang them to the cross. Like, nobody's addressing this guy, what he's doing. He had the play-in games. They lost against Portland. He had 22. When they beat the Warriors, he had 20. Jalen Green beat us. Devin Booker didn't do nothing to me. Like, it was a dry 20 points. I think we need to hold Devin Booker more accountable. And personally, I think it's the light-skin thing. Like, Steph is my guy, but when Steph have a bad game, they don't talk about Steph that much. Steve Kerr going to take the blame. We're going to blame Steve Kerr. Draymond turned it over. Okay, Draymond going to take the blame. We're going to blame Draymond. Steph had off shooting nights. Clay had off shooting night. Clay went 0 for 8 for 3. We're going to blame Clay. He going to take the blame. Like, it hardly ever gets blamed on Steph. And honestly, I'm starting to believe it's the light-skin thing. It is what it is. Look at... Speaking of Clay, the Megan Thee Stallion, Klay Thompson thing, It's like this girl is getting flack because she got cheated on multiple times. Clearly, like if she leaving it, they cheating on her, and like y'all like, oh, she slept with him, she did this, she did that. Oh, look at his roster. His roster, great. He cheated on this girl, and now y'all want to bring up her roster. These people cheated on her, and she left him, and like she get the flack for leaving. I just think it's the light skin thing, but that's neither here nor there. That's just my opinion. But I do think Devin Booker, he has to do more, being that he's making, so much money. He's making a lot of money. Like I said, he won lottery. He's supposed to be the guy. Like you had guys over there before. You didn't have nobody. Some people came, people left, people came. You still haven't done nothing. Like you don't have no accolades. Like you can compare like how we did the Draymond, Ken Martin accolade thing. Draymond got way more accolades than you. Granted, you're only 29, 30 years old, 28, whatever you are. Granted, you're still, young, but I think he need to do more. I think he need to come on with it. But that is my opinion. I'm about to get out here and Uber a little bit. I'm out, y'all. Peace.